Hello, A-Day, fourth period. I hope you're doing well. I'm gonna quickly try to go over everything that I need to cover for today. Sorry I'm not there with you, but I'm hoping that you have a good asynchronous day and that you can understand the assignment. I left you a lot, but don't worry if you didn't get all of it. I'll try to cover some of it for next class. First of all, open up to the day 28 folder. What you're going to do is make sure you do the attendance question. I'm going to introduce the major grade in a lot more detail right now. So your first major grade for this marking period is a persuasive research essay. Okay, so last class we had a very thorough and insightful discussion about the education system, and now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into those topics that I brought up, the 4 topics. So you have 4 essay topics to choose from. Do high schools prepare students for college and/or work? Is it worth having a college degree? Are students using shortcuts to get through school? Should the SAT be required? So you're to choose one of them, and what you're going to get, you're going to receive these 3 sources for each prompt. So you choose a prompt, and then underneath that prompt there are 3 sources. There's 2 articles and a visual, and these sources should support the claim you end up building. And what you're going to do essentially, you're going to read the prompt and directions and dissect your understanding, making sure you understand what you're covering and hopefully choose a topic. Then you're going to read all the sources and analyze all those sources and maybe reevaluate, and you're like, oh, based off the sources, I may not want to do this topic, and then re-choose a topic if needed. There are some steps 3 through 5. I'll cover that later, but go ahead and look in the slides if you want to look at that. But let's talk about the prompts first. So there's a document titled Dissecting Research Prompts. So go ahead and have that out. All the directions for all the prompts are the same, and then they have the prompt underneath it that kind of goes into more detail about that specific prompt. So I'm going to dissect the directions for you. So the directions say the following prompt is based on the accompanying 3 sources. This question requires you to integrate a variety of sources into a coherent, well-written essay. Refer to the sources to support your position. Avoid mere paraphrase or summary. Your argument should be central. The sources should support this argument. So looking at that, the keywords, they're highlighted in the next slide. So I'm looking for you to be able to synthesize and incorporate and integrate different sources in order to create a essay, like a coherent, well-written essay in which you refer to the sources, that you have an argument, and the sources support your argument. So what I would like you to do for your prompt, whichever one you choose, I want you to highlight the elements in the introduction that you need to focus on, and then feel free to annotate using the comment tool. And it's really important that you truly understand the prompt, because if you're not answering it, you're not going to do really well. And it's really important to understand that background. So take a second to do that. And after reading that, so what you're going to have to do you're going to have to decide what kind of claim you want to make. Are you going to defend and agree with the argument and rationalize it? Are you going to challenge what is said in the prompt and disagree and show holes in the supporting logic? Or are you going to qualify, to attempt to truly understand all sides of the issue and see that both sides have some valid points? So, going to be honest with you, I would choose defend or challenge. Those are the easier ones to do. And depending on your sources, you're going to have to defend or challenge. It may change. Qualify is a little bit more trickier to do. It's a little bit more difficult. You still have to take a definite stand no matter what you do. You can have a situation where you say, idea X is ethical in certain situations and unethical in others, but then you have to expand on that and use logic and intricate writing in order to persuade them to see your specific way of thinking. So yeah, that one's going to be harder. I do not recommend it. So hopefully by now you have your topic chosen and you have annotated it and understand the prompt at hand. And so the next step is go ahead and read the sources now. And there's a few steps. 1, read the entire source. 2, the author's claim, identify the author's claim. So like, what is their main, focus? 3, annotate what is important. I like highlighting things that just stand out to me, especially once I read the second and third source. I like to highlight any connections I see, any similarities, or anything that like can be tied to it. And then lastly, supporting evidence. How is the author supporting their claim? What specific evidence is provided or elaborated upon? What strategies is the author employing? And then I have some nonfiction persuasive strategies you can look at so that you can kind of try to pinpoint those things, because those make the argument stronger, and maybe you can use some of those elements into your writing as well. So what you're going to do, just to give a brief gist of everything, read and annotate your prompt and instructions. Read and annotate your sources. Complete the source analysis document. So this is the document that is for a grade, okay? Your claim should be 1 to 2 sentences and list all evidence as it can be identified. So just follow that handout, and then reflect on the prompt and sources. Decide if you want to defend, challenge, or qualify the prompt claim. Remember, your claim must be supported by the sources that they have been provided for you. And if you want to go a different route and you have like some original ideas that you want to explore, feel free to talk to me. I'm open for you trying new things, especially if there's a specific source or passion that you're passionate about. I will try to cater to you. Don't worry so much about the claim. We're going to talk more about that next class. For now, I want you to look at the prompts and look at the evidence, and I will see you next class. I know that was a lot of information. Just try to go based off the slides, based off the documents. And if you have questions, feel free to text me. And if you're not signed up for my Remind, it's at NGUYENELA4. So at WinELA4. And I will see you soon. Bye, y'all. Take care.